Merry Christmas to everyone celebrating Monday's holiday. And as we get ready for a highly anticipated matchup versus the Philadelphia 76ers, we're going through the Heat roster to find out who's been naughty or nice and what might be on their Christmas wish list. So grab a mug of hot chocolate, cozy up by the fire, because it's a special Christmas episode of Locked On Heat.
You are Locked On Heat, your daily Miami Heat podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to Locked On Heat, your daily podcast on the Miami Heat. I'm Wes Goldberg. I'm an NBA media member and editor at allyoucanheat.com. Joining me, as always, it's longtime NBA reporter and a man who doesn't need any rings for Christmas. It's David Ramil. However, you're tuning in on YouTube, Odyssey, or your favorite podcast app. Thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. All right, it is our Christmas special. I hope everybody tuning in is having a good and safe holiday. Thanks so much for making and spending some time with us, whether you're traveling, taking some time to yourself, or just addicted to some Heat basketball. We appreciate you tuning in. So let's just get right into it because we have a fun one today. The Heat play the 76ers, 8 o'clock Christmas Day. We're going to preview that matchup in a second. But let's start with our Miami Heat wish list, David. You and I both took different approaches with this. You came up with a wish list gift item for every Heat player. So you are in the giving spirit. I, on the other hand, was a little bit more selfish and just came up with ththings that I wanted to give myself for Christmas in regards to the Miami
Ebenezer
Heat.
Goldberg over here covering the Heat. Yeah.
I just it's that joke, right, where Christmas shopping in 3 stages. 1, I got plenty of time. 2, just buy a bunch of stuff for yourself that's on sale. 3, oh my God, I'm running out of time. But let's start with your list. We're in the giving spirit. We're going to start with that. What do you want to start with, though?
Today, I will start off with Tyler Herro.
Okay.
And for Christmas, I'd like to give him a 50-point game.
Wow. Okay. I love that you went this direction. Let's go. Let's do it.
A 50-point game. I think that'll put him on the map. Like, he's already ineligible for postseason awards, but a 50-point game so that he can get recognized as the great scorer he is league-wide. You've got so many people talking about Adebayo and Embiid and everybody else. It's just like, what is Tyler missing in order to get that kind of recognition? He needs a 50-point game, some gaudy-ass level of production so that everybody goes, huh, that's Tyler Herro. He might be pretty good, and not just the kid who snarled 4 years ago in the NBA bubble. So I think this is what he needs to kind of put him over that hump as far as public perception around the league is concerned.
And I'm just going to bring this up for no real reason, but Donovan Mitchell's highest scoring game of the season is 43 points. So he does not have a 50-point game this year, although he does have one in his career. But I don't know why I brought that up. I just did. I'm going to go to my wish list really quick because I love that you brought up the 50-point game. That's what I wanted, David. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't know that you got it for me. I wanted a 50-plus point game. The Heat, since 2019, do you know how many 50-plus games they've had in the regular season since 2019? As a team?
None.
0. You know how many Joel Embiid has had?
Who cares?
7. He said 7 of them. It's crazy that this team that is a perennial contender in today's NBA has not had a 50-point score in a regular season game in the Jimmy Butler era. It's crazy, but I want one. And it has nothing to do. It's not like we need one. Christmas isn't about needs. It's about what you want. And I just want a 50 burger. I want to sit there at Kaseya Center and watch Tyler Herro go off for 50 points for no other reason than it would be so much fun to watch. That's it. It doesn't mean anything about Heat culture. The Heat don't need it. Doesn't have anything to do with them being a contender. I don't need any of that stuff. I just want to see it. I think it would be a lot of fun because it's been a very long time since we've seen something like that in these parts.
I've got a Christmas gift for Caleb Martin. It's kind of a gift for him, but I think it's a gift for the Heat as well. I want luxury tax relief so that Miami can re-sign him to a hefty contract and he can play out the rest of his days in a Miami Heat uniform. I think he's thrived here, and I think he'd continue to thrive here, and I think he'd like to stay here. So I think luxury tax relief is a great opportunity for him to re-sign with a team.
I love it. Or just like some sort of like government bailout for Carnival Cruise Lines or something that just lines Mickey Harrison's pockets a little bit more, so he doesn't necessarily care about it.
I'm sure he's had a few of those already. I don't know.
That's true, and I know it's Heat fans might be here. It's the second apron. It's actually not about the money. It's about the roster flexibility and the construction. Yes, you are absolutely right. I am sorry, I overlooked that. I love it. What do we got next?
For Josh Richardson, on March 23rd, I'd like to get him a set at Ultra Music Festival. It's between two home games, the New Orleans Pelicans and the Cleveland Cavaliers. A burgeoning DJ career for Josh. I think he continues to show his talents off the court as well. Put him there in the Ultra. I think he would love it. I think he would get a blast out of that. It's going to be a crazy 3-day weekend for Miami fans and for music fans, because it's going to be a really insane time in downtown
I leave
Miami.
town.
You got a game on Friday against the Pelicans, and then a game on Sunday against the Cavs, and smack dab in between all of that is Ultra. So
parking should.
You're gonna have to cover
easy.
those two games. Yeah, you're gonna have to cover those two games, right? I mean, I don't know how we're gonna do it.
Oh my god.
But I don't know if taking the train is any better, considering you're gonna have a lot of dilated pupils on that Metro mover. That's all I'm saying, buddy. I
could get high off the fumes and just show up to these games. And I'll see a 50-point game that way, maybe. What do we got next?
For Orlando Robinson, the G League MVP trophy. I want to get him.
Okay.
I think that's for his future set, but I think if he can stand out as an MVP in the G League, I think he can, continue to build off that growth, because he's just not going to get those opportunities in Miami, unfortunately. So give him a little opportunity to shine down in the lower levels there until he can continue to make an impact at the NBA level.
Who's leading the league right now in points and stuff in the G League?
At the G League level?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I know they struggled at the in the G League showcase there, but it was nice to see the coaches from Sioux Falls attending the Orlando game on Wednesday, and then vice versa for Miami to be able to attend there when they played. So that's good. That's great synergy. That's what the Sioux Falls Skyforce is all about, right? What was the name of the bar there? I forgot. I think Orlando told us there, but I mean, yeah, he said he didn't mind Sioux Falls. So if you're going to be in Sioux Falls, live it up, baby. Go to that one brewery downtown. Oh, that's what he told us, that they go to there's a couple breweries. Yes, and people in Sioux Falls, they do like to drink. So for it's Josh,
it's 45 degrees right now in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is warmer than I thought it would be. But that's a very different kind of Christmas, right?
It's also 2:00, right? It's also 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to start, of course, you introduced math in the first segment. All right, what's next?
For Duncan Robinson, I want to give him the magic shoes from Like Mike. I want him to be able to. Now we're seeing the passing, we're seeing the cuts to the hoop, we've seen the 3-point accuracy. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. I want to see him with a nasty, just a monster yam on somebody. Like, I would love to see Duncan
just go full Matt McClung on somebody.
Well, I don't know if Matt McClung. I guess that's an apt comparison.
He's the best at it, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's because nobody else wants to participate. But just a really good dunk from Duncan. I know he can, but those kind of gentle 2-finger dunks that he kind of has there, I don't know if those are really getting it done. I just have a one.
You just want to see him cock it back and just tomahawk,
filthy,
like LeBron,
yes, filthy. Okay, yes, skying in there with a poor. Who would be like the poor unsuspecting player who would catch?
Oh, do it on Rudy Gobert. Let's we do two birds here. Do something that sends Rudy Gobert.
They've already played Minnesota twice. They've already played Minnesota twice.
Maybe in the All-Star game.
When San Antonio comes to Miami this time, and maybe he could do it on Wembanyama again. That would be like two birds with one stone, because then you take Wembanyama out of the Rookie of the Year competition too, because he got punked by Duncan twice in 2 games. So I think that would be a good opportunity there.
We have time for one or two more here.
Yeah, let's do it. For Haywood Highsmith, I want to give him a career-defining sequence at the NBA Finals, because I think he's just earned so much, but he's just a guy you have to appreciate. Heat basketball, you have to watch the regular season for it to kind of see what his impact is. But for him to go have something similar to what he did against the Orlando Magic, where he hits a couple threes in a row, and then he has a big defensive play on the other end as well, I think marrying those together, having a great, powerful sequence of back-to-back strong possessions like that, and at the NBA Finals level, kind of put him on the map. Yeah,
I like that. He kind of got on the map a little bit last year. He had a couple of series defensively against Jason Tatum in the conference finals. No, people, I don't know if people remember it, but people took notice of it at the moment, but nothing offensively either. He was a non-factor offensively in the playoffs. So to your point, like, step it up, from just a couple defensive possessions against Tatum to some two-way play there. All right, we'll continue along with what we're getting the Miami Heat players for Christmas. Plus, more importantly, David, what do I want for Christmas? We'll talk about that after this.
Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Kind of threw me off a little bit. I thought we were going FanDuel first. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy, and it's what makes it so easy is that you're just going against the numbers. It's, I know maybe for some people going against the numbers is a little more challenging than for others, but it's just 2 to 6 players. You go against their stat projections. You watch the winnings roll in. No pros, no sharks, nobody else. You're not betting against anybody else. It's just you against the numbers. And so that's what makes PrizePicks so much fun, so much easier to use. And you go to basketball season's here, so you can kind of pair it with football now because they've got these combo projections across football and basketball for their specials league created just to have combo projections of 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. You can combine LeBron James and Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. And if you want to play alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill or comedian Andrew Schultz, you can find them now over at the community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community. Again, it's so easy. Just pick the players that you want going against their projections. And if you win, you win. That's how easy it is. Go to prizepicks.com, Locked On NBA, and use the code LOCKEDON. You get a first deposit match of up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
All right. Thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube. Subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Throw it up on your TV. Stream it live. Just let the sports roll in this holiday season. All right. What we got next, David, on your wish list? Your Christmas list here.
Let's see. Well, you pick a player. Who haven't we done yet that you want to hear about?
Have we done Jimmy Butler yet?
No, I have not. And for Jimmy Butler, I would like to get something a little off the map. This one took me a while to find, but I want to get him a vial of water from the Fountain of Youth. I want him to drink that and somehow magically take his back to 10 years ago before Thibodeau ruined his legs, his lower extremities, and had him, kind of wheel himself out there for just to kind of get over that regular season hump. Because I just want him to be the dominant player that we've seen throughout the playoffs all year long, not just for the holidays, but all year long. I want him to have that kind of that fire of a rookie that nobody took seriously because, he worked his way up across past Derrick Rose, past Luol Deng, past Joakim Noah, past everybody on that Bulls roster. Who was left? The only player worth a damn, Jimmy Butler. So I think he should get that vial of just a little bit of water for the Fountain of Youth.
I would get him just a note. And the note would say, hey, you could still take threes. It's fine that you're not shooting 50% anymore. That would be the note. It would be tucked into a nice little Christmas card, maybe in a stocking. But the note would say, just please keep taking them. From October 30th to November 24th, so almost a month, he was averaging 3.4 3-pointers a game. I love that number. That is a lovely number, a wonderful number for Jimmy Butler. Since then, over his last 9 games, 1.3 3-point attempts per game. And that's including taking 3 against Minnesota. That's only because he took 3 of them against Minnesota because he only scored 50 points against the Timberwolves and couldn't get into the paint because of all of that size that they have. He could still take them. He doesn't need to shoot 50% from 3. It was ridiculous that he was doing it in the first place. He's never going to be a 50% 3-point shooter because nobody is. It's fine. He could shoot 33% from 3-point range for all I care. I just wanted to take him.
He just wants to stay above league average at this point. Like, I think he's just trolling everybody. I mean, we saw what he did on Media Day. I think that's basically what it comes down to.
What's next?
Let's see. For Thomas Bryant, I want to give him another chance. I don't know, man. Maybe I've just kind of softened up here after what we saw from him against the Orlando Magic, but he had a nice spark off the bench. And he's just, you know what? I think Miami's just a better team if Bryant is a better player. And maybe that's kind of obvious, but given the fact that a lot of prognosticators are saying, I remember one in particular, David Thorpe, right, of ESPN, saying, you know what, they've got the best backup center in the league in Thomas Bryant. At least that was the expectation coming into the season. And he had some nice games here and there, but overall, like he's been the same problematic player he has been throughout his career. But I think he deserves another chance. He's a good kid, And
when you say problematic, you mean like the defensive issues. He's sometimes out of position,
right?
And there's just issues
not off the court
stuff,
nothing like that yet.
Like I said, he is. I think I brought this up the other day, but he is the sideline MVP for the Miami Heat. He is always cheering, always dancing, always goofing around, keeping it light on the sideline there. He's been instrumental to what they do there. Great locker room guy. So yeah, I think that all that stuff goes into the, into him getting another chance, and he got another chance the other day. So I don't think that he's in the doghouse by any means. I just think that he'd have a lot of options at the position. But who's next?
I'm going to go with Kyle Lowry. For him, I'm going to give him a visit from Three Ghosts. I love the Christmas Carol. I think he needs to kind of feel the Christmas spirit a little bit. I was just thinking about with Kyle Lowry, what's missing. Like he's fine. Like, he's a fine player. I know Heat fans hate him, but I was trying to think, why do they hate him so much? Is it the contract? Well, maybe that's part of it, but it's also the fact that he kind of carries himself in a way that makes him unapproachable. He just does not come across as a fan favorite. Like Goran Dragic probably could have like kicked a puppy in midcourt, and people would be like, "Oh, that Gogi, he's got something there. That puppy, what did that puppy do?" So he was just charming. He was nice, and everybody liked him.
Yeah.
From Hardaway too. So, but Mario Chalmers, he's got a special place in our heart, despite the fact that maybe he was just a mediocre player. To be honest with you.
Whoa.
Other than that, yeah, I know. That's kind
whoa. Don't go there.
Well, he certainly didn't think he was mediocre. I know
That's
he
right.
He was the best player on the court.
Part.
But with Kyle Lowry, I mean, I think he needs to get the spirit of Christmas.
I'm with you. He's a little cantankerous. He could get a little grouchy. He's a little Grinch stole Christmassy a little bit some of the time. Lighten up, Kyle, man. You made a lot of money. You're going to go in the Hall of Fame. You got a championship. You're making $29 million this year. What's to be so grumpy about?
The
media likes you. We like
every
you.
day.
We're just
no,
trying.
not really.
We want to like you. We want to like you.
We do, I think. But not everybody.
All right. What's next? Give me the next one.
Jamal Cain. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot. Everybody. Jamal Cain gets a regular contract. I think he deserves it. I think he's got a great chance. Bam Adebayo. I mean, we talked about it in the most recent episode. I just want him to that Defensive Player of the Year trophy.
Yeah.
He deserves it. I think he's going to get chances at championships later on in his career. But
the Defensive Player of the Year trophy would be like, so for Hanukkah, right? Like as a kid, you kind of level up every night. You go from like a little gift, and maybe it's like a little dreidel or like a little like Hot Wheel or something your first night, and then the last night of Hanukkah, you get your big gift, right? This would be the big gift. This would be like the big one. Bam Adebayo, Defensive Player of the Year. Of all the gifts that you've said, this would be the most impactful, the biggest one, the life-changing one. That's what we want for Bam. I'm with you on that. Gift him the Defensive Player of the Year. You actually stole that from my wish list too, because I want for Bam to have that Defensive Player of the Year award, because I'm sick of talking about him when he doesn't have it. I want to talk about Bam, Defensive Player of the Year award winner.
You didn't actually your gift ideas weren't as selfish as I expected to be. They're not all about.
Just wait.
Oh. For RJ Hampton, RJ Hampton, give him another year. Like I like his addition on the roster. I think he needs another chance there, and I think he'll get it. For Nikola Jovic, a G League triple-double, because I think he can show off his game there, and it gives us the kind of a taste of that diversity to his game that so many people want to see. For Kevin Love, health for him and his family, because he's older, but I think he's got a baby now. Him and his wife, they just need some sleep and a little bit of health, because who couldn't use some of that, And then lastly, I think this is last. Yes, it is. Lastly, for Jaime Jaquez, a big steaming trough of his abuela's tamales, just to keep him kind of, just to have him be in the holiday spirit. I think for him, like one of the things that I could see happening is that, you're away from home. It's a long season, part of the rookie wall, not just the physical endurance component, but the fact that you're away from home for such a long time there. So just to kind of tide him over until the All-Star break, unless he goes to Indianapolis because he has to participate in the slam dunk contest or something. And I'll tell you right now, if he does, he's my favorite. He's my favorite to win it over Mac McClung, that's for sure. But to kind of tide him over, kind of give him a boost emotionally.
Yes.
He's been such a great player off the floor.
Yeah.
Give him a nice big fuente
And,
of tamales, and maybe
like
some.
it.
Yeah, he likes rice and beans, quesadillas, papales, whatever. I mean, I don't know what
carb load, baby, for the home
Yeah.
stretch. Carb load, some protein. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Go. I love it. Those are great gifts, David. Again, you're very much in the Christmas spirit. I think you nailed all the gifts to everybody. I think all these Heat players are going to be very happy, except for maybe Kyle Lowry, who's going to say, I don't need to be nice. But other than that, but I do. I so desperately want to get to my wish list because I think it's more important what I want than what the Heat want. So we'll do that after this.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The weather's getting colder, but the NFL offers stay hot over at FanDuel. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action because the app is so easy to use. And there's a wide range of betting options from spreads to player props to over-unders and so much more. What's going on with the Dolphins this week? Are they playing on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, they play Christmas Eve. Dallas Cowboys, big game.
Who do you like in that game, Wes?
I like the Dolphins. I don't know if they're going to win.
Good choice. Anyway, go visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and kick off the NFL season because FanDuel is an official partner of the NFL.
Thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day this holiday weekend. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you wanted to give us a gift, all you got to do is make sure you're subscribed. Like these videos, subscribe, download the videos, give us a 5-star rating or review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's all we need from you guys for Christmas. We would very much appreciate that as a gift. Plus, all these other things that I'm about to say. I do want to talk about this Christmas Day game. We're going to talk about what the Heat can do to slow down Joel Embiid and if that's even the biggest problem for the Heat on Christmas. We'll get to that here in a minute. But my wish list. You already mentioned the 50-point burger. That's what I want. I want a 50-point game that's very near the top of my list. For fun, I just looked up 40-point games. The Heat don't have one this year. They joined.
Not surprising.
Not surprising. Two surprising teams on this. The Nuggets and the Lakers don't have a 40-point game this year, which I found interesting. You would think like LeBron or AD. I mean, Anthony Davis had it, but they didn't count it in the NBA in-season tournament final. But I'm surprised Jokic hasn't scored 40 yet. Houston, Toronto, Utah, Charlotte, Washington, San Antonio, and Portland. Those are the teams that don't have a 40-point score yet this season in addition to Miami. So I just found that interesting, but I'd rather have the 50 points than the 40 points. I want patience for Nikola Jovic. This is my other giving mood one. Just patience. He doesn't need to be part of the rotation yet. He wasn't even really supposed to be. Okay. Like he's the youngest player on the team. The team is good. Just relax. It's fine. The Heat have a plan for their development. And I'm just going to say this. If you don't think that he needs to be playing center, you, the random Heat fan, I'm just going to venture a guess and say the team with the best developmental program in the league might know a little bit more about this than you do. And I'm usually not that guy on the podcast like, hey, they know more than we do. Because sometimes they don't. But I think it's fine to just say, hey, develop all these things and you'll be a better basketball player. I think that's fine. I don't think they envision him as a center in the future, but you got to do what you got to do for minutes in the G League. So whatever. Patience for Nikola Jovic. That's what I want to give him. All right, next. I want a third point guard, just in case. It doesn't necessarily need to be Austin Rivers or John Wall, who you and I believe that the Heat saw in their Orlando workout, even though that's not been reported. But it doesn't have to be Austin Rivers or John Wall, or it could be. I'm fine with either of those, but just somebody. A third point guard, just in case. A break glass in case of emergency point guard. Not a guy that's going to play every night. Maybe not a guy that's going to play ever. But if Kyle Lowry or Josh Richardson or Tyler Herro get injured, you have them when you need them, just like what Drew Smith was before he got injured against the Cavs. So, a third point guard. I want a top 6 seed. That's self-explanatory. I don't want to deal with the play-in tournament. I want to take those couple days off, and I just want to look forward to a matchup. I don't want to play in tournament team. I want a top 6 seed. And you know what? If I was getting really greedy, David, I would say home court in the first round. Can I do that? Can I talk about the 4th seed realistically? Can I ask Santa for the 4th seed? All right, so we're going to change up to the 4th seed. Very good. Very good. I just changed it right here on my little list here. Okay. Jimmy Butler if we were to ask him and really get an honest answer from him, do you want to be an all-star?
Oh, God.
I actually think he would say no. I don't think he has any interest in going to Indianapolis.
He said that to Rowan Notgarty. He told us this.
Yeah, no, but he said it again. You never really know how truthful Jimmy is being or if he's trolling, but I really feel like he was being truthful in that answer. I think he has zero interest in going to Indianapolis. But you know what, David? I have interest in Jimmy going to Indianapolis, even if he's going to be miserable. I want an all-star representing the Miami Heat on All-Star Weekend, and not one of these rookie games or dunk contests or three-point shootouts. No, the All-Star game, the thing that everybody's there for. I want a Miami Heat representative there. I don't know if it's going to be Bam. He missed a lot of time, so maybe it wouldn't be. Although I wouldn't rule him out. I think he's definitely on the list of guys who could be in the mix there. But I want Jimmy Butler to go. Hashtag send Jimmy to Indy. Send him to Indy against his will, kicking and screaming. But I want to see him there. I want to see him there. I know Jimmy would rather be anywhere else, on vacation in Barbados, making coffee, doing all the things. Yep. No, sorry, Jimmy. You're going to Indianapolis, baby, in February. Hashtag send Jimmy to Indy. All-Star voting has opened officially. So start voting Jimmy Butler in, Heat fans. Do it now. Send him to Indy.
What if Bam gets in? Do you need to send in Jimmy?
Yeah, just because it would be funny. I think Bam would like. I think Bam likes doing the All-Star stuff. Jimmy doesn't. Let's get him there. Let's send him kicking and screaming. So that's for me. That's not for Jimmy. Last one. I just want Lowry Markkanen and Dorian Finney-Smith.
Wait, run that by me again.
Last thing on my list. I want Lowry Markkanen or Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dorian Finney-Smith.
He's just a souped-up Haywood Highsmith. Yeah. He's shooting 40+% from three-point range. I think he would really round out Miami's rotation. I think he'd be an awesome fit. I think he's available. I don't know what it would cost. I've heard 2 first-round picks is what Brooklyn is looking for. And I've also heard that every other front office in the league has laughed at them. 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith. He's a good player. He's not 2 first-round picks good. I would give him a protected first, maybe or whatever. I just like, look, this is my wish list. I don't have to come up with fake trades. That's for other shows. I want it. I want Dorian Finney-Smith, and I want him wrapped, and I want him under the tree. And if I can't get him, or actually, if I would prefer Lowry Markkanen, but if I can't get him, I'll take a DFS. So
it's getting a little weird there. I mean, you wrapped up a large human being underneath a tree there. Do you even have a tree on your apartment?
We have a very little tree. We have a very small tree. It's kind of like a Charlie Brown sad Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's nice. You can't put Lowry.
These are large humans. Yeah, no, I need a bigger tree for big people. So you're right.
It's unrealistic to expect to get these kinds of things after you have such a small tree. I'm sorry.
Okay, if I get a bigger tree, then I can get Lowry Markkanen and Dorian Finney-Smith. Understood. I'll run out right now and get that. The Heat host the 76ers on Monday night, Christmas night, 8 p.m. The 76ers are rolling with the league's best net rating. Joel Embiid is the MVP favorite. He just put up 51 points the other night. He's averaging 35.1 points per game. This is their first meeting of the season, and against the new look 76ers with Tyrese Maxey in place of James Harden, Nick Nurse replacing Doc Rivers as coach. David, we're going to break down this matchup. It's going to be a separate video, separate podcast. Thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast app. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. And stay tuned for our separate episode breaking down this Christmas Day game between the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers.